everybody, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I'm showing you how to use the 30 degrees die pieces. So as you can see, many of you probably recognize that this is the 30 degrees die, and that die looks like this. And I will not be showing you how to use this because I do have another video showing you how to use this specific die. So if you click on the top right corner, you can learn how to use it, and I share my tips in there. The video shows the same kind of design I am doing today. This is the trickier design because you're trying to get these photos to look like they're going a 30-degree angle, but you have to be careful on how to cut them because it's really easy to get things misaligned. For example, this pole in the photo is aligned. I'll show it closer. So you can see this is pretty aligned, but it's also possible if I don't cut it correctly, this pole could be way over here or way over here. So that's what I'm going to be showing you today, is how to make sure these photos are aligned correctly. And this set, so this came out first, and now we decided to go ahead and make the pieces so it's easier for you to cut out everything instead of using this die. And sometimes it's a little difficult to cut with this because the photo and this together may not fit in the machine very well, particularly if you have a smaller die machine. So this will make it easier for you if you have a smaller die machine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use this set. So what I'm going to show you first is the most difficult part, is how to fill in a space like this with one photo. And these are 4x6 photos. You don't need anything bigger than that to fill in this section. If you wanted your photo to also fill in these outer sections, it would need to be a 5x7. But so far I have not done that. I usually just use 4x6 and fill these little sections with another paper or photo. Alright, so in the other video, and you'll see me, hopefully you've watched that video or will watch the video. So I show how to cut with this die, and it works great. Let's see, I'm trying to get this going the right direction. So you can see here, if I cut it through the machine, you're going to get something like this. And I believe in the other video, I had to snip this part, and it's just a little more difficult. And as I said, it's a little bit harder to get it through the machine if you did not want to cut your photo. If you had a really big machine, it would be fine, but if you have a smaller machine like the Sizzix Big Kick or something, this obviously is not going to happen. So this is why the pieces are really good to use, and I'm just going to show you some of the tools and tips and tricks I have for this. What I do recommend though is before you get started, go ahead and cut two 30 degrees dies with a sturdy cardstock, so maybe one you just have left over, and this is going to be really helpful to make sure you get everything aligned. So I do recommend cutting to these. And I do recommend washi tape. This one is from Doodlebug Design. It's really fun. A fun fall one for my fall photos here. And now I'm going to use this, but first, I like to take this layout. And it's really weird. And this is what I talked about in the other video too. It's kind of weird at first because it's like you're cutting it this way and it's going to look this way on your page, okay? So what I like to do is take my pieces. Right now they're at an angle. And you're not going to cut your photo in this direction, or you're not going to lay these dies over the photo in the direction they are now. But what you're going to do is you're going to pick, I like to do the big one first. And you want to make sure this fits the right angle on here. So we're going to turn it so it's a 90-degree angle, and we're going to put it over here at a 90-degree angle. And I just like to fit this one first wherever I like it. Wherever you decide to put it, you need to make sure you have room for this other piece, by the way. So make sure if you're cropping with this one that you still have room for the other side here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this one, or I'm going to put washi tape on this one. So I have it about where I want it. I use quite a bit of, well, not a ton of washi tape, but I do use a little bit of washi tape for this die. It's very handy. And I'm going to put this one down. Okay. And next, I'm going to take this die or the die cut, I should say. And see, it's really weird because I'm like, which way does it go? Finally, this way. Okay. Now I don't actually need this laid out at the moment. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to put this. I do recommend getting a piece of paper or something because you'll be using the washi tape. Because what I like to do, I like to keep everything in place. So I'm just going to put the washi tape here, make sure my photo doesn't move around. Maybe a little bit on this side. I think with washi tape, when you're using dies, you need tape on opposite sides. And then I'm going to take this. And you want to make sure when you're using the washi tape that you don't stick it on any of the parts that you're going to use on your layout because it tends to leave a residue on your photo. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn this so that when you lay it next to this one, that this completes that rectangle. I know it's angled right here, but you basically want to get that rectangular look. And I'm going to make sure this corner lines up with this corner. So that's how I know to get it straight. And there is an 1/8 inch gap between these two on the layout. But if your photo doesn't allow you to go any further than that, that's okay too. All right, so now I'm going to put more washi tape on here. Again, the washi tape's really just for me to keep everything aligned and straight because as I was doing this, everything started moving around. I'm like, okay, I need everything to be more sturdy. All right, now I'm going to take this die and I just kind of put it in there. The blades will sit kind of on the inside part of the die cut here. And I'm going to get a little bit of washi tape and I just lift this up carefully. I mean, you can always recut it if it tears, but I just put the washi tape in this corner and then I kind of slowly, so I'm holding the die down with my fingers and then picking this up. Okay, and then I can move this one out of the way and I'm still going to put washi tape on the other side because even with one piece of washi tape, I feel like these dies will still shift around in the machine. Okay, and then I'm going to take off this other side here. And you can reuse those for your other cuts. And now I'm actually going to keep things really straight by putting another piece of washi tape on below here too. Okay, so now my photo's ready to go into the machine and you have both sides on there. So in the previous video, I had to cut them 2 different times and now you can cut them at the same time. I'm going to go ahead and cut these and I'll be right back. All right, so I just cut these through my die machine and you can see it's cut here on the back. And usually I tell in my other videos to keep so let's say you take the dies off here and keep the photo together to glue it easier. But when I took these dies off the photo would just kind of come apart anyway. So I decided to keep the dies just taped on and I have my glue and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it with the dies over it. It might be a little tricky because the blade might be in the way, but it'll still glue just fine. So when you glue this, make sure you get these sharp corners really well because I find if you don't, they will start sticking up. So get it right in that corner. I actually need to add a little bit more on that one. Okay, and then of course you can take the die pieces off and the washi tape. Okay, and I'll stick this first piece on. All right, and then I have this next piece. Okay, and as you can see, this right here lines up pretty well. And sometimes it's not going to be 100% perfect. I mean, this one did not come out perfectly. But the hope is it comes out, you know, as good as you can. But hopefully when you cut these, it'll come out pretty straight. So that is the purpose of these instructions, really, is to make sure you know how to get your photo aligned correctly. And it does help to use photos like this where there's flowers and trees and all those kind of items in the background. So if something's a little bit off, it may not matter as much. But I know something like this, if it's off, everyone's going to see. So just take your time when you cut with these die pieces, and you don't need to be in a rush. Thankfully, you really only have to do this with 4 photos for a layout, and over time you'll get plenty of practice and know how to align things really well. All right, so I'm also going to go ahead and show you a little bit of the smaller pieces here. So now I'm going to show you how to cut these pieces right here. So the set comes with these pieces, and that is great. Before, you had to use that entire 4x6 die to get these pieces, but now it's so much easier. I just put these on. This was a 12x12 sheet of paper, and I just put these in one of the corners and cut around them. And that way they fit in the machine together at the same time, and I don't have to waste as much paper. Okay, so I just pull that away, and you should have 2 pieces like this that'll fit in the 2 corners of the little frame sections. All right, next I'm going to cut this size, and this little triangle is going to be pretty similar. So I'll just show you a couple of them. All right, so I have this triangle here, and what I'm going to do is, so this is completely straight. So when I put it on my photo, I'm going to make sure that same side is going completely straight as well. And obviously I'm making sure it's going the correct direction. So I have this photo here, and once I have that down, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. You may want to use washi tape to keep this die in place. Okay, and I'm actually going to just keep this together so I can glue the back of the corners easier. And then I have this, and it's going to be the same thing, but this time this is on the top of the page, and it's going straight horizontally on the top. So I'm going to make sure it's straight on here, and just take your time, make sure you're getting the right spot you want to crop, and that line, whichever way it's going, is as straight as possible. So I'm going to bring it over here and also cut it. Then again, I'm just going to keep this attached so that way I can glue it easier. All right, now I have this little one, and it's going to work the same way. So one of the directions well, actually both sides are going vertically. I have the 2 horizontal corners already, so I need 2 photos going this way. So I'm actually going to grab, so I had some extra parts here I can use. I might use this photo. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Okay. So I'm just going to use it on this photo here to get the water. I filled my page with water and the little corners. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it one way. And then it actually will fit fine if I flip it in the opposite direction. Of course, I want to make sure I don't cut into this, but it should be, looks like it'll work out. Okay, so, yep, looks like it cut fine. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these and show you the final layout. All right, here is the completed layout, and I think it looks great. Everything just came out looking really good together, and of course the 30 degrees die design looks really good. It's actually one of our most popular dies, and I can understand why. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you, and that if you have the 30 degrees die, you definitely want to consider getting the pieces if you feel like that'll help you cut everything easier. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.